Hey there! Welcome to the very first episode on this channel and it's in English. This is a big deal for me because I never thought that I will be brave enough to take this step. Why this series and who is for? Well, I figured that west of Poland's border, the history of cars and everyday life was completely different for ours. And I think this could be a fascinating history lesson where cars and life go hand in hand. So let's get started. If I asked you to name a Polish car, what would you say? Do you know any? No? Don't worry. If you stick around and watch my videos, you will soon be an expert in Polish motorizing history. But before we jump into today's car, I need to set the scene a little. From the end of World War II until 1989, Poland wasn't really free. We were under Soviet control, and that included our car industry. That means we couldn't just design and build modern car like in Western Europe. In fact, our first massive produced car was made under a Soviet license. We have no choice. And then, in 1973, this little car was born. A car that many say motorized Poland. A small, cheap car, built under an Italian license, the Fiat 126p, P like Poland. Let's start with how it looked. A teeny simple car. Basically an upgraded Fiat 500. Designed as a perfect city car for one, maybe two people. Easy to park, easy to drive. But in Poland, oh no. We had different ideas. We must have different ideas. For us, this was a proper family car. 5 adults? No problem. Road trip? Of course. Even holiday abroad? Yeah, people did that too. Seriously. And let's not forget, it wasn't like you could just walk into a shop and buy a car whenever you want. Actually, how did people in West buy a car before 1919? Let me know in the comments. I'll make a whole video about it because, trust me, the way we had to do in Poland was unbelievable at the time. And while you are at it, hit that like button and share this video with a friend. Thank you a lot. And let's back to the Fiat 126p. You are probably thinking it must have massive engine under the bonnet, right? Well, not quite. It had a teeny 2-cylinder engine with a whopping 23 horsepower. And in 1977, Polish engineers upgraded it to 24 horsepower. Yeah. They managed to squeeze out 1 extra horse. Madness. What's also funny in that Italy stopped making this car in 1980. But Poland? Oh no. We kept going until 2000. Seriously. So what is typical small city car in Germany 2000? Smart maybe? Shall we compare the Fiat 126p to a Smart? Why not? Here's how they both look from the outside. Quite different, right? Now let's check out the interiors. Oh, no comments. Totally disaster. Surprisingly, the Smart didn't have a super powerful engine either. It ranged from 41 to 62 horsepower, but compared to the Fiat 126p was a huge jump. And while we are having a laugh, here's another fun fact. Italy stopped making the Fiat 126 in 1980. In 1991, they had already started producing its successor, the Fiat 500, and they stopped making that in 1998, which means that 500 was already gone before Poland even stopped making the 126p. So it must have been an amazing car, right? Well, not really. It broke down a lot, but at least it was a super easy to fix. All you need was a hammer, some wire and a bit of creativity. Police fixed them on the street, in their gardens, even on a side on the road. The car was so basic, it barely had any feature at all. No air conditions, no electric windows, no power steering. But who needs all that? It moved, it drove. That was enough. Automatic gearbox? No. Airbags? Not a chance. And so for crash zone? Well, the only thing between you and impact was engine, which was in the back. Yeah, not the safest car ever. And what about performance? Top speed 110, maybe 115 kilometers per hour if you are lucky. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. Yeah, it was. Blistering 44 seconds. Even starting the engine was an experience. You had to turn the key, then pull a lever to get it going. But the sound of that engine, unmistakable. Let's listen to it. My right back to carefree childhood. And how much did this Polish dream cost? When it debuted, it was priced at 69,000 zlotys. Cheap? Expensive? Well, I know that this number doesn't tell you much. At that time, the average salary was around 3,500 zlotys. So if you gave up eating, drinking and spent your entry salary on the car, after just 20 months, you could become the proud owner of a Fiat 126p, right? No, definitely not. Why? We'll talk about that in the episode about buying a car. It's also worth mentioning that throughout the entry's production of this teeny car, it was constantly being modernized. The interior and exterior were slightly updated over time. Unfortunately, these changes went in the wrong direction. Instead of improving the materials, they got worse and worse. But this was part of general trend in the automotive industry. Steel and wood were being replaced with plastic. That's funny, in the Fiat 126p was so common in Poland. You could see it everywhere. It was so ubiquitous that mix-ups were completely normal. People would accidentally drive off the wrong car. Seriously, the key to one Fiat 126p often fit another one, so mistakes happen all the time. The Fiat 126p was also modified in various ways. The most famous version was the Boss one, a cabriolet. Not many were made, so today it's a highly sought after collections item. But there were another concept too, like teeny deliver van, the Bowbell version. There was also a station wagon, an extended version, an ambitious model, and many more. You have to admit, Polish engineers know how to create something out of nothing, which is why there were so many variations. However, they all had one thing in common. They never achieved success or gained widespread popularity. As you might expect, the Fiat 126p was a common sight in movies. Its most iconic role, it was the car of Poland's most famous fiction engineer, Stefan Karwowski, from the TV series 40-latek. But I doubt any of you have heard of this serial. When it comes to foreign films, unfortunately, the Fiat 126p never played even a supporting role. However, it did make background appearance in movies like Captain America: The First Avengers, where it stood alongside other classic cars. Finally, let's talk about today's market situation. The Fiat 126p has become a classic, at least. There is a group of enthusiasts who would like to think so. And how much does one cost now? The price varies quite a bit, ranging from a few thousand euros to as much as 10,000 euros. If you look hard enough, you'll find listing for 20,000 euros. But that's just ridiculous. Would you like to own a classic like this? Let me know in comments. So, how was it? Was it watchable? I hope so, and I will see you in a next episode. Bye!